There we go. Yo. Good, man. You know what? It was a good week. I had to get I decided to get a continuous glucose monitor, and it's been very eye-opening. Very eye-opening. I'm my wife and I just took some time and looked at all the stuff that I was eating, and oh my God, does she have it on lockdown in 4 days, 5 days? Unbelievable.
Jesus Christ, man. Well,
It's incredible.
got so what does that mean? A total diet change or?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Total diet change. Like we tested some things.
No.
Like I stopped after work early on Sunday, grabbed some McDonald's for breakfast. That's not good. So it's just some of the stuff she was packing on my lunch, that's not good. So and you could see it. You could see like it spike and come down and spike for a long time, and my blood sugar. And right now we are styling and profiling.
Is that what you were talking about with irons in the fire earlier this week?
Yeah, I've had type 2 diabetes for a while, and it's just kind of hanging out. It's not really doing anything. And I just decided, you know what? It's been a couple years of taking medication. I'm like, I'm tired of this shit. So I went and got a new doctor because all he wanted to do was throw pills at it. We had a one-on-one conversation in the Scion's way.
Oh, so you didn't talk
very
much.
Very direct. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, how you feeling, Zugs? What's going on with you?
So, I had cancer. Just so you guys know, I had surgery. They were able to remove all the cancerous nodes, but annually I have to be checked to see if it's resurged for the next 4 years. Now it's 5 in total, and my first annual was this past week, and it's called a PET scan. And essentially, they take this irradiated fluid and inject it into my bloodstream, and then it has to course through my system. It takes a little bit of time, a little over an hour or so, and then they put me in the scanner. And if the cancerous cells come back or are present, it lights up a color to indicate, hey, it's back. And it was a very rare cancer type. But I had to endure that this week, and I had a bad reaction to the irradiation.
That's rough.
And, I'm starting to feel a little better. It is what it is, though. Still haven't gotten the results back yet. Still hoping for, and fingers crossed for some good news. But we'll cross that hurdle when we get there. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. So the last couple of days have been pretty rough on me, but I'm starting to it's starting to flush out, and I'm starting to feel a little better, a little normal, a little bit more back to myself and things like that.
Well, you look good.
Thanks, man. I'm trying, I made sure I did my hair nice just for all of you.
I appreciate
viewers.
That. You combed it and everything. Yeah. Put some mousse up there. Yeah.
Exactly. But, other than that, man, it was a week, nothing else really crazy.
It's just a couple old guys getting older.
Yeah. I'm used to it, man. I'm grateful for the day my back doesn't kill me to roll out of bed,
Oh, I got that whipped already. Thank God.
Good for you. You got to let me in on your secret, dude.
You got to get up and move all day.
Well, I do that. Wait a minute.
Like move for hours at a time.
Oh, well, I don't know about that part. I don't know about that part. I did that. Exactly. I did that for so many years. I'm perfectly fine stoving up over here in the chair, But
I don't blame you.
But hey, guys, welcome in. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do us a favor. Hit like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Go throw a comment down in the comment section. This will be re-uploaded in high resolution for you guys so that you can enjoy and go back and fall back to these conversations whenever you'd like. In a video this Sunday, I'll have this re-uploaded by Sunday. So
fantastic.
Yeah, do us a favor.
I can't wait.
A little bit of news since Blizzard's come back from vacation from their holiday stint. Some interesting things to discuss.
Some of it's kind of hot.
Yeah, some interesting.
Some of it's kind of hot.
Interesting topics. So we will jump into those. There's a couple little caveat things I want to pop up real quick. One of the things being on with the new pre-patch, they're introducing a new mode for someone interested in testing out or trying the PvP scene that they've never tried before, or was scared to, or wasn't sure what it would be like or what it would feel like. And it's called PvP Training Grounds. Now, we used to know this. Yeah. We used to know this in the old PvP system. It would periodically pop up, and it was called Comp Stomp. And essentially what the game mode is it allows you as a whole team of real players will play in a PvP style situation. It's actually got one of the maps with one of the game modes for PvP, but the opposite team is not real players. It is AI driven computer NPCs that you would be fighting against to kind of get you into that play style and understanding of what kind of the PvP battleground scene looks like. I don't know if they're going to
now.
introduce...
Do you have to group up previously, or can you?
No, you can solo queue. You can solo queue, or you can queue in with a group. You can solo queue or queue in with a group. It doesn't matter. And you'll go. It's in the Arathi Basin, and you'll go and basically do a capture the flag scenario. They might introduce other game modes into that. I think they're introducing this to be more of an evergreen event for people. What I don't know is can you just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over, or you complete.
And just farm honor.
You're right, or if you just complete it once and it goes, okay, you're ready to go. There is going to be some achievements in it, so I imagine you can play it over and over. The only thing I don't know is, can you farm honor? I mean, if you can, okay, but if you can't,
Well, that's coming in the pre-patch, so...
Yeah, that's something to get into.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I
kind of looked at that, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. The Winds of Mysterious Fortune, 20% XP gains will be back for levels 10 to 80. So you're going to be able to still take advantage of the Winds of Fortune. And then
the 20%'s a lot, and especially if you're like, you're running dungeons and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. You're doing the dungeon quest and all that. You're popping levels up pretty quick.
Yeah. And then one other caveat is the housing level. You're going to be able. Housing goes up to level 9. In pre-patch.
I don't know how that's going to happen, but.
Well, right now I'm enduring a current bug, so mine was at level 4, and I've noticed it's been there for a long, long time. And I was like, I've done stuff and I've acquired new pieces, because you're very limited right now as to what you can do to level your housing. But I'm over the amount needed to move to level 5, but it won't move me to level 5. I haven't submitted a ticket yet because Tuesday, let's be honest, Tuesday we're going to get the update, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of things going haywire. So I'm not really that worried about that. Come later that week, if it's still hung up on 4 and I'm doing stuff because they're introducing new features, which we're going to get into later in the podcast, then I'll submit a bug ticket or submit a ticket about it. But until then, I'm not really worried about it. My guess is Tuesday when I go to log in, it'll probably pop up with the
you have to physically upgrade your house by talking to the upgrade guy in the middle of town.
No, I'm not talking about my home upgrade. I'm talking about when you tap H on your keyboard to bring up the housing menu, it's just stuck on 4. So you're saying I need to go talk to the housing guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then I got to go talk to the housing guy then. All right. I thought it would just roll over and go, congratulations, you hit, like anything else. Like when you hit a level, it goes, you leveled up. So I was like, okay, cool. My housing leveled up. But I guess not. I guess I got to go talk to a guy. You got to go talk to the guy on the corner, huh? You got to go
to the guy.
You got to go talk to the guy on the corner. Yeah, housing goes up to level 9. So if you're a big housing enthusiast, you're going to get tons of stuff. And again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think it's time that we start talking about the main topics of the podcast today. And while you take the first part of this topic, I'm gonna go throw the live out there to a couple of places and say, hey, we're live, come hang out with us, come join us. So I'm gonna let you take over for a little bit. But Addons still working in midnight. Did Blizzard back off? Go ahead, Science.
Yes.
Let them know what you think.
Yes, they did. And it's in my opinion, it's embarrassing for Blizzard. Really, they came out strong. They wanted add-ons to go away. We got this, and they don't have it. As an example, you've got nameplate add-ons are still available in midnight. Plater nameplate still available. Platinator still available. There are some things that aren't available as far as specific functions of those add-ons, but they're still available.
Right.
And Blizzard has said, you know what? This is what we're doing. And you've got raid add-ons. You've got all kinds of stuff right now that are coming. So, what is it? North Sky add-ons now are going to replace.
I thought Skyward. I thought it was maybe it's North Sky. Go ahead.
It's replacing method dungeon tools. I mean, and in the article, it clearly states, posted on Wowhead, that they meaning people, are actively making add-ons for midnight. They're actively doing it. They've found a way around it already. They're going through. They're doing it. I think that Blizzard really, really bit off more than they could chew here. And if I am running Blizzard Entertainment, I'm a little embarrassed because here's a couple things. Number one, you had to have hired some people for the add-ons thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's going to take more labor than you think. But Blizzard probably didn't do that because it was a temporary assignment. Nobody wants a temporary job in the coding industry right now, right? Coders are being laid off like crazy.
Well,
they want a job.
Can we be honest for just a second? Like, there's like horror stories about devs working with Blizzard, and the only reason they even take on the role is to get experience so they can move to another studio where they feel more secure about and a little more freedom about their coding and their artwork and their design and their vision and so on. So, I mean, it comes at no consequence that if they post a job out there, hey, we need temporary coders, people aren't going to want to do that because they're going to have to pack up their whole life and move for something that might work out, and then
might
most
work
likely
out, might not. Yeah. And it's but you've got that piece of it, and then you've got, they don't want to be on that layoff scene either, where they, hired 30 coders to come in and do all the add-ons and then laid them off right after either. That's a bad look.
Right. And
so I think that Blizzard really, really, really didn't understand how much work all of these little subsets of coding went into add-ons, and I think that they just figured, people will work with this because they love the game. No, man, that's not how. You're talking about people. Yeah. People don't really care about that. They love the game, but they want to do what they want to do.
Right.
So, Blizzard does have some things that are good. In the game, like they've got some things, that are going to work just fine. What they really want to do is to kill weak auras, and they've done so. After that, it's pretty much wide open at this point. So we're just going to have to wait and see what the finished product looks like coming out when midnight releases. Because I don't think Blizzard knows either.
So
that's a problem.
I want to touch on a couple of things. Yeah. First off, weak auras had so much in it. That's what their big goal was, to kill that. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't seem to realize that. Like, oh, man, now I got to go download all these other add-ons. Weak Auras was essentially multiple add-ons in one umbrella folder. That's all it was. Like, every time you downloaded a Weak Aura pack of any description, even if it was a mouse cursor to more information, a character sheet on your character sheet, that's a whole add-on inside the add-on. So you're not putting any more work or pressure on your computer to run additional add-ons. It was just everything was conveniently in that one add-on.
Reading from the same folder.
Right. And so, I mean, essentially, it's the same. The community's going to figure out a way. They already have. Like you said, with Skyward.
They already have. They just came out and said, we're making them.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
and
now the other piece of that is, if Blizzard really locks it down, they can do add-ons as overlays to the game.
yeah,
Final Fantasy does that.
Yeah,
It's ungodly hard on your computer, and people aren't going to want to go through the mess of doing that. I'm not gonna.
no, I wouldn't either. But let's be realistic. Like, I'm gonna fall back on what we were talking about a month ago or so.
Yeah.
I sincerely think that they did bite off more than they could chew, so they dialed it back. Okay.
Yep.
But I guarantee you're gonna see the Skyward thing. You're gonna see add-ons like, it might not be called Omni CD anymore, but it's going to be something like that, showing you all your friends' interrupts and all that stuff.
Yep.
Somebody will make an add-on that will figure that out, and they'll have that up for us to go. Everything's going to go the way it is. I think at some point they are going to get rid of all these add-ons once they can get everything figured out over time. And, people are throwing, including us, we've thrown guesses like maybe by the end of midnight, start of the Titan. It could be as far as all the way through Titan, because let's be realistic. I mean, it was a huge chunk of things that they were trying to bite off all at one time. They couldn't do it in enough time, not without properly hiring people that could build them and maintain them. And they know that now. So either two things are going to happen here. One is they're going to start hiring people in full-time to maintain and continue to work on these, or they're just going to peel it back. Maybe the only thing they do is this details thing, their version of details, and that's really all they'll bite off for the time being. I don't know. I have no insider information.
Well, I don't even know how they're going to keep them updated.
Yeah.
Like that was my first question, and I said that to Blizzard in the Discord. I said, hey, this is great. You guys don't have a really great track record of keep staying on top of things.
Right. So
how are you going to, I see you're going to have a discrepancy with updating these add-ons.
Right.
And that I bet they were hoping that they can lowball some of these creators, some of these add-on authors into working for Blizzard monetarily.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee that they had some lowball offers coming in. These guys already knew that we can work around it. We can do this. We can do that. And Blizzard is not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, we don't know who's under NDA right now. I mean, and who was blatantly told no, or just brought in.
I do know that the author of BBM is working with Blizzard. I do know that.
Yeah, I was going to say some of them might be in for like a one-time contract for, hey, help us figure X, Y, and Z out. And once we get that kind of like, figured out, we can maintain it from there. And they just, they gave them a little bit of cheese, a little bit of cheddar for their time of coming in and giving them a hand with it or something like that to get it started. But you got to imagine a ton of these guys, these bigger guys, are on some type of NDA, even if they're not going to get to work directly with Blizzard, i.e. it's the new software internally in the game. They're going to be tight-lipped to it in any capacity. But yeah, they have dialed it a lot back, and I'm glad for that for a lot of reasons. I love my Plater Pro nameplates. I
like Plater too.
I don't dislike their new versions of their nameplates because it is better looking, but it's not. I don't care for it. I played it on beta. I played with the Plater, and for that matter, to be frank with you, I don't really care for platinators either. I mean, I don't
like that one, no.
They've already got like, and going back to the add-on thing, they've already got add-ons right now that you can. It tells you when to CC. They already got them. They already got it out.
They're already there.
It color codes to casters, so you know who to pay attention to. And instead of it saying like, they even have it to where it'll do sounds now. So it'll. I saw a video where it literally targeted the ad and said CC and made a noise. It's the same thing we had before.
Yeah, that's the North Sky add-on. That's that author. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't say, it doesn't say anything other than CC, but I mean, still, that's a broad indicator that they want you to shut it down. So it's like,
and that's what Blizzard didn't want.
Right.
That's what they didn't want. They wanted to take that out. They wanted you to think about, I'm looking at my screen. Here comes this ad. We're going to have to CC that.
Yeah.
And they want you to make that critical judgment in the middle of the fight without something telling you, hey, it's right here, right? And unfortunately, the player base has found a way around that.
Yeah, and I mean, they're gonna. I mean, the problem is And this is the reality. Blizzard needs to take one or two avenues at it. A, just go back and let people have add-ons because they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure out how to do it. They're going to figure it out. Or you shut all add-ons off. Like it just simply doesn't exist anymore. Like you don't have the option. You don't have the option to alter other than what they let you alter as far as UI. I mean, kill all of it. That's the only way
and
they're
if they
going
shut it down, Zugs, are you going to stop playing?
I won't.
If they shut down add-ons?
No, I won't. I won't stop playing.
No.
I won't. I mean, there'll be some things that I don't care for. Like I have an add-on called teleport menu. So every time I hit escape, it brings up, like your options, your edit mode and all this down the center. Down each side, I have all my different portals that I can use, whether it's my engineering portals, my Dalaran Hearthstone, my Garrison Hearthstone, Standard Hearthstone, housing portals on there now. Like, it's got all my portals right there, so I don't have to have them on, like, a keybind or on my action bar. That's just, like, that's a quality of life add-on that I enjoy, but I don't need it to play the game. I'll be just fine.
No.
I'll be just fine. But ultimately, I mean, you're either staring at, if that's the ideology that they're after, then they need to kill all add-ons completely and just take the blow, so to speak, to the gut.
Take the blow and then
for the people
build them in as you want them. Yeah.
Right. Well, what I'm referencing about taking the blow is the financial blow, because a lot of people will stop playing the game because they don't play it. It will, a lot of people don't realize, even though it's going to be different, it's not that much different. Like, you and I both played beta. You and I both played, you played alpha, I played beta, you played beta. I did keys in beta. It doesn't feel any different. The game feels the same. Yeah, you feel the stat squish and whatnot, but I mean, as far as like how it plays and feels, it still very much feels Warcraft. Feels very much just like I just walked out of War Within, and I'm still in that aesthetic and that feel. It's just some slight changes to the way the characters play and things of that nature.
Yeah. But
ultimately, it's still the same game. So add-ons aren't necessarily their quality of life thing, as long as they stay true to their word that they don't make encounters so complicated that you have to have third-party software to aid you. Then there should never be an issue where we have to have add-ons in the first place. I mean, I get that it's been baked into our heads for years upon 15 to 20 years. But, I mean, if they want to make this game to where it's going to be conducive to everyone, even the brand new players coming in, and that's kind of been a hot topic about new players and their experience and things of that nature.
That's going to be a hot button for sure.
Yeah, the ideology that you have to have third-party software just does not compute. It hasn't for a long time. And when they quit catering to the 1% and cater to the 80 some odd percent, 85, 87, 88%, whatever it is now that is considered your casual player base, because that's their meat and potatoes of the soup. Yeah. Then they're going to make their money. The more they wrap their head around getting the 1%ers out of their brain and focusing on the rest of the player base that plays the game, that's when they're going to be successful, and that's when they'll see the surge in numbers. It doesn't matter how many evergreen things you throw in there, housing and how they adjust transmogging and how they do all these different things. That's only going to appease people for so long before, okay, what do we do now? When you've made the end game so unbelievably difficult. Now, it should never be easy. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but it's so unbelievably difficult that only the 0.01%ers can clear it. That's ridiculous. It's a video game. It should be achievable by the mass of your player base. Even at a group level, it should be achievable without third-party software by the mass. Otherwise,
I agree.
Otherwise, I mean, if you play a game that's so absolutely ridiculously hard that you have to have third-party software, how much time are you going to invest into it if you had to do it on a personal scale? Just you, Scions. You had no one else to rely on.
I would only go so far, and I would just stop. I would stop playing.
Well, that's what happens to 90. That's why people at the beginning of a season or especially beginning of expansion, even as the seasons roll, will re-up their subscription, play for a little bit, and when they hit their cap, they stop. They don't.
Yep.
They don't inquire to go farther. They don't inquire to get better at it, to achieve the more difficult content. They go, well, this is where it is. Now, again, I don't think it should be you walk in, press 3 buttons, you kill it, and voila, you're a cutting-edge raider. So don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say here. But at the same time, there should never be a point to where only a % of the player base gets cutting edge without buying it. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
correct. And that's and since they have so many different, as an example, raid difficulties, right? That makes a little bit more sense too.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you're only going to have, everyone's going to see the content.
Yeah.
Because you got LFR, then normal and heroic realistically should be very
to this day they should get rid of LFR.
Casual, perfect. When you get into mythic and you start getting, that's more like hard mode stuff, right? That's where you're going to see your more skilled players, and I could see where add-ons might be useful there, right? Because again, not everyone is gonna be sweaty and get into the hardest version of the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I think especially since with the new player experience now, they go through Dragonflight, and then they're supposed to go through the story mode version of the instance fight. So they're going through the raids with a bunch of AI. I think they should introduce that for people who are truly just want the storytelling. Cut LFR out altogether and just have normal, heroic, and know what?
That's a good idea, and that might come to pass. I don't know. I think they still want people still want to do that normal and heroic activity.
Well, no. Yeah, I think
not wanting to do it, then I could see him doing that.
No, I'm just saying LFR is a joke because 90% of the players that go in there only go in there for Mog and a little bit of eye level bomb.
Mog doesn't matter anymore though.
It doesn't.
Well, no. So the way that works now is
right, but I'm not talking about the guy that's got heroic and he's just going to earn everything down. I'm talking about the people that come in there and jump off the edge and die on every damn interaction.
Yeah.
They don't actually try to learn the fights. They're just there for participation, and then 99% of the time they rake in the loot anyways by doing nothing. They're not trying to learn the fight. They don't even sit there and watch it. They usually got a YouTube video up and they just wait for the pull counter. Pull counter starts and they just stand there aimless until they flop over dead, and then they wait for a res and get their loot and walk to the next ad and do it again. LFR is not meaningful. It has not been meaningful for a very, very long time. Now, there are sparse people that might contest that and say, yes, it is. I take every step and I learn every step of the way. Those people are very, very minute outlier people that don't convolute the entire picture. So, yes, they are getting rid of this whole transmog thing. People purely going in for Mog. But there's not that many people going into an LFR, unless it's like week 1 and you're just trying to complete a 4-set or a 2-set or something like that. That's the only reason why you're going to LFR. Outside of LFR, outside of that, you're only doing it just as maybe because there's a Hearthstone toy or a cosmetic in the raid or something like that. Or you're going in there for Mog. That's the only reason why you're doing an LFR scenario. Outside of that, you're not touching it. If you're truly trying to do in-game, you're going into normal, you're going into heroic and trying to get AOTC.
I would agree.
I think they should do the story mode. If that's what you're trying to do for completion of story, they should do a story mode instance for it. Let it be done. Drop LFR and just focus on quality of life for us as the end gamers for normal, heroic, and mythic difficulties. Yeah, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Yep. But add-ons are back. They're just back in different formats. We got so used to Omni CD, and we got so used to different things like weak auras. But they're coming back. They're just coming back in a new shell. Matter of fact, the Mythic Plus timer, the weak aura Mythic Plus timer, is now a standalone add-on that you can just go get right now. And it will work. So if you got accustomed to that very intricate breakdown of your M plus timer, instead of going back to the very simple format that Blizzard offers, you can go get your weak aura M plus timer now. It's just a separate add-on. You go get it, install it, you got it, and it's like nothing ever changed. So people are going to figure out how to do this. It's just a matter of time. before we get it all back. And I got a strong feeling that a lot of the weak aura guys are making their own add-ons, and we'll have everything that we initially wanted. In fact, we'll most likely get weak
in a different
aura.
way.
You know, I joke with you not. I think we're going to get weak auras back as an add-on, but it's not going to be called weak auras, and it's essentially going to do the same thing.
Yes.
At some point or another, I think we will. I mean, because that Skyward thing is kind of that on a very bare bones scale, and maybe it will improve or whatnot. But I mean, I really to this day think that they shouldn't have got rid of weak auras in the first place. What they should have done is just simplified the fights, let the 1%ers bitch and moan about how easy it is, and get more of the player base involved in the end game to where they can talk to it and have more friends involved and have a bigger player base where they can then find out about more evolving things. Because let's be honest, it's even though Mythic rating is the true end game of the game right now, the one thing that is truly in game is Mythic Plus, because it never stops. There's always a tougher difficulty. There's always a tougher margin to reach, where Mythic Raid is just ultimately extremely difficult, where Mythic Plus is always going to be harder. You never get to just say, okay, I was the best at it because of blah. I got cutting edge and I was in the, Hall of Fame, or I was, world first. There is prestige to that. So I'm not trying to take away from, Liquid, Echo, Method, and every other team that goes for world first rating. But M Plus is the real end game for a lot of players, because they won't introduce 10-player raids anymore. So, which tons of people love the smaller, more intimate content where they have a group of 5 and you can get away with a group of 10. But because they don't have that anymore and they won't bring that back, that's why Mythic Plus has become so profound in the game, because they took that away.
Especially with Mythic Plus, usually the best trinkets and the best rings are in Mythic Plus, and you can get your 4 set. You don't have to step a foot in a raid.
Yep. I mean, outside of unless your class, after some theory crafting, your class needs a BIS weapon out of raid, and we seem to have taken on this dinar system so much. I'm not going to be surprised if we have a dinar system in Midnight at some point. If not, hell, they might even do it in season 1, man. Who knows?
You never know.
But add-ons are back. They're not going away. I don't see them going away anytime soon. In fact, I think that they're just going to kind of go, you know what? We tried. We goofed this, and have your stuff back. In fact, I'm almost convinced that we'll even see at some point, we'll see details make its way back. I mean, they're going to hard nose it for a while and be thick-headed about it, but I think at some point or another they're going to be like, you know what? Just give them back their details. And I don't know. It's just a guess.
It could be. Like I said, man, Blizzard just kind of jumped too fast there. So
it's one of those things that sucks, but at least they're trying. You know what I mean? And again, we don't know. Like I said, they could say screw it and just go get details back. They could be like, no, we're doing this for real. And in fact, the next one to go is this one. And that Skyward, kiss its ass goodbye. We're going.
Could be.
We don't know. Right now, they could just
either they're gonna have to allow it or take a hard line. So, like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens with it.
Yeah. But add-ons are here. They're gonna be here. So we're gonna just see what it looks like, especially Tuesday. We'll see what breaks, what doesn't break, what works, what doesn't work. As a point of reference, one of the Wowhead writers posted on X today that you won't be able to raid Tuesday, even if you wanted to go back and raid Tuesday, because the Rishi wraps aren't functioning. When you log in Tuesday, the Rishi wraps are powered all the way down, even if you had them powered up on your character. The power levels that you had earned through the season, they're gone. And their tertiary function doesn't work. So when you try to go into the raid, you die, because that's the point. You could, even if you wanted to get in, you don't get the action button. You're not getting the phase diving feature. Nothing. You can't do anything with it right now. At least on beta. We'll see what it turns out to be Tuesday. But currently, as it stands, you won't even be able to raid Mana Forge next week if they don't fix that. So we'll just have to see how that looks. It's time we move on, man. I think it's time we talk about the brand new affix for Mythic Plus called Dungeon Routing. Science, what you think?
I think that it's a good start. I think it's not the right thing to do. And so basically what it does, they called it an affix. I don't even know why they called it an affix to begin with. And it starts in season 1, and the affix will be active for Mythic Plus levels 2 through 5. And basically what it does is you have an ad afflicted with something, and you kill that ad, and that's how you learn your dungeon routing. Is you kill that ad and you go to the next one, you go to the next one.
It's
that's
highlighted.
Great.
It's a highlighted ad.
Yeah,
to show you how to route.
Yeah, it's a good feature. It's a bad execution. I would, and Busy, I would 100% agree with that. I think they could have done better. It's just a weird thing. Like, somebody had a thought and we just went with it because we didn't have a better idea, because we didn't want an arrow.
Well,
right?
you know, let's be honest, okay? You say it's a good idea, bad execution. I don't agree completely. I think it's a good idea and it's an okay execution, and here's why. Your plus 10ers, okay? Your people that are just Mythic Vault filling, they don't care about it, KSL or KSH. They'll get to KSM, and that's fine with them. They're just filling their vault for Mythic gear. They're not going to care. They're not going to care. And all this is doing is this is giving people an opportunity to have looked at the tank position and go, I've wanted to try, but I don't know how to do it, and I don't know the tools. I'm too scared to ask. And X, Y, Z. Where somebody like myself and my friend Guildarts and other people that tank, we have, you know, the dungeon tools, you know, where we're mapping out our routes to get our 100 percentile. And remapping it based on the difficulty of pack ads and what they do, and we'll figure out our routing, and we'll look at other feedback from other players that upload their routes. These are my routes, and this is why I do it, and there's a faster way to go about it, and yada yada yada. What if you think about this new execution, this new affix? Even though I agree it's not an affix, it's just a feature. This new affix is designed to show someone how to route efficiently, but it's in the same mindset that the routing that they probably take on is probably the same kind of AI that they're using for the follower dungeons, which are.
I agree. And so what they should do they should just ping the map.
Yeah, and it should just be in heroic. It should not be in Mythic Plus at all. It should be in heroic. You know, you can queue for heroic, and if you want that feature, you can have that feature turned on. So if you're in the tank position, it'll highlight the things for you to kind of help you, guide you through it on a heroic scale. So there's not as much consequence. I get there's no timer penalty from 2 to 5 is what they added into it. But most people, even between Mythic Plus to 2 to 5, they don't want to go in there and waste their time. You only have a limited amount of time to play. Not everybody sits at home for 40, can play the game for 40 hours a week. You know, they work full-time jobs. They have this stuff, and they're not trying to go into Mythic Plus for people to be taught. People get taught by going through heroics and zeros and failing and Mythic zeros and failing. And understanding, okay, now we got a timer. Mythic 2 is gonna be harder. There's a bigger reward, and then they go and they've learned. They've done their homework instead of being handheld through the in-game content.
Right, but again, I know what they're trying to do, because there's they're trying to ease that tank into the tank role so that there's more tanks available. Like I could see that, but again, the bottom line comes down to the player base. That's really the issue, and they can't control that. And so what they're going to have to do is what they've done is they put this affix in, and hopefully some of these tanks will learn, and maybe they'll have a little bit of a thicker skin as they get into these groups, and they get, trod on verbally, so that, I don't know. That's really the issue. That's the biggest issue.
Hang on a second. Low Mountain said low level keys. If you're a big sweat lord right now, M plus players then jump ahead to the affix like you do anyways. Mr. I hit 2K in 2 days last season. So I'm not talking about for somebody like me that most likely will jump straight into 5s or 6s. Obviously you can't at the beginning of a fresh season because you got to just start with a level 2 key, but you'll we'll triple time it and we'll bypass it. But I'm talking about the average everyday player that is slowly going through it, that already knows the M+ system, knows how to play. I don't think that this is a place for them to learn. I think that's what heroic, because if you don't have a place for them to learn in Mythic 0 or heroic keys, then there is no point in heroic and Mythic Plus keys or Mythic 0 keys at all. That's the place for you to learn.
Take out the Mythic 0 keys, take them out, and then put the affix in at 2 through 5. Okay.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying, Low Mountain? Yeah. I'm saying that the premise behind heroic dungeons in retail and Mythic 0 is for learning. That is where you mess up and you die and you wipe and you figure out the adds, affixes, and all this other stuff for the sake of learning. I'm not trying to say...
we're not saying it's not a good idea. Like, it's a fine idea. It's just, again, I just think it's just a weird way to implement it by just kind of
I'm just offering.
I don't think that's enough to learn unless you're running it 4 or 5 times in a row.
Right. So, like, as an example, right now, let's say you wanted to learn how to start tanking. Ideally, you would go into a flex situation because it flexes to everybody's eye level. So you would jump into a time walking. Time walking, there's no real penalty. Like, if you goof up and die 9 times out of 10, if you got a busted damage dealer in your group, they're just going to kill the thing anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's places for you to learn, and heroic dungeons and Mythic Zeros are the place where there's no penalties for wiping and dying. And instead of creating the first 5 as a place to do that too, I don't think that's necessarily the right thing to do. And even though, I mean, yeah, it's fair that people want to learn, but that's where you learn in those unconstricted situations like that, so that whenever you do get the added pressure of a timer, it's not as compounding, as opposed to you would already practice and kind of got to figure out when to use your tank buster, your protection for tank buster, how to CC your adds and things like that. Where 2 to 5, yeah, those are low keys, but you're still going to find people that are going to jump down your throat if you're going too slow, if you're pulling too fast, if you're, you got to have thick skin. If you decide you want to tank, be prepared for people to criticize everything you do, regardless of whether they tank one day in their life or not.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm just saying that.
It's the unfortunate truth of tanking.
Yeah. It's just a reality that you got to set your mind. You got to set your mental to realize that people are going to critique everything you do as a tank because you are their guiding source. You go in first, you attack first, you do everything first. You dictate where the group goes and how the group goes and everything else like that. So, I mean, you got to have that thick skin to go down that role, And this isn't me digging directly at you or anybody else. I'm just saying there's a place for everything. And I think that the best value for an affix or a feature like that would be in a scenario where you don't have the time restrictions, so that you can actually learn what the ads are doing and what the boss fights are doing, because not everybody can watch a video and it just registers. They have to go do the OTJ part. They got to go get their hands involved and learn that way. So learning in a scenario like that gives value to heroic and Mythic 0, where key timers, whether it's a +2, +5, +15, +20, is designed to pressure you to complete this content in a scenario that you need to be frosty and pay attention to what you're doing. It should never be... That's the one key thing about M+ that I don't think should ever change. M+ should be a consistent test on you for personal responsibility of your actions. And when you don't, the accountability falls in the fate of the key gets busted.
Yep. I agree.
Anyways, it's basically a follower dungeon. Yes. So, I mean, I just don't think... I think it's an okay... I think it's a good idea, an okay execution. Not their best, not their worst. I just think it's okay. I think it should really be in a heroic or Mythic 0 environment, but it is what it is. I mean, just like Low Mountain said, I'm gonna bulldoze right past it in the first season anyways, and it won't even really be in my point of my POV anyhow. So, yeah. I mean, and for the seasoned people that push hard into keys, they're not gonna care. They're gonna flow right by it, and never look at it again. So,
yep, 100%.
Zeros having a percentage, or learn percentage routing.
Yeah, so that's
relying...
kind of what it is too. That's why they went 2 through 5. And I do agree with Low Mountain that +5 is a little high, but I'm sure they'll adjust. We'll see some changes there.
Well, I mean, okay, so in that same scenario, Low Mountain, I see your point of view and where you're talking about, but the simple fix to that is, okay, do a completion. Just throw the, even though there's no timer in heroic or whatever, just do a completion. Just, I mean, it's not going to slow, I mean, it's a heroic or a mythic 0, it's not going to slow down the time anyways. So just do a completion amount to it. I mean, just pull more ads, because that's the point behind it anyways. Whatever you utilize it for is your business, but I mean, it's designed to teach you the dungeon. So if your end goal is M+, they should have the entire experience there outside the time, so that you can learn the timer, so you can learn. Or maybe they put a timer in there and it doesn't affect whether you time it or not, to kind of give you that little engaged pressure, just so you get the feel for what an M+ would feel like. I don't know, but regardless, it doesn't matter. It's fine. I don't really have anything else to talk about when it comes to the dungeon routing. You know, it can be, there's a ton of different things that we could suggest about it, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it's up to Blizzard as to how they're going to implement it. Endeavors and elven housing is coming.
It is coming.
Yeah.
It is coming. The Endeavor. I'm going to assume that the Endeavor feature is going to give you levels to your housing and experience and all that. It is only once a month, and so it's not like, I don't know if it's going to last all month, or you can only do parts of it in the month. I don't know.
Well, I know a little bit about that. So
yeah, and then the housing is just more features. That's all.
So with the Endeavors, is you're going to get a vendor. You're going to get an option at the beginning of the month, and you'll get a selection of vendors, okay? And once you decide on a vendor, that vendor will be there for the whole 30 days. And during that 30 days, you will have that entire 30 days to complete some things they want you to do. Go farm this, go farm that, go get this. Right. You know, I'm just using those as instances. They could ask you for more. Almost like how you have your own personal traveler's log in your adventure guide. It's going to be something essentially like that. And you're going to have the Endeavors tab that you're going to be able to click on. So no matter where you are in the World of Warcraft, you can check on where you are as an entire group for your neighborhood, for your guild neighborhood, etc. Right? So if you're at that standpoint and you're like, okay, I've done all my Mythic Plus for the week. I've done all my farming for the week for gold. My professions are all up to date for the week. Let me look at Endeavors. And okay, I got to go. They want us to go get some wood out of, Tanan Jungle. All right, cool. Right. So I go get wood out of Tanan Jungle and go turn it into the Endeavor vendor in your neighborhood, and you've completed that portion. And as you complete it, you will get these, like, we'll call them ledgers, or there'll be something, and you're going to be able to use that to get some kind of cosmetic off of the vendor as a prize. I'm sure there's going to be other sources to buy other things, because they're going to have they're supposed to have multiple options of decor for you to be able to purchase off the vendor. But let's say you don't like that vendor, right? You can take your ledger and go to a different neighborhood and go visit their vendor and go purchase something from their vendor. So even if you pick this one, because say the whole community voted for this one, but that's not who you really wanted. Let's say you got somebody from Mechanome and you just don't care for the Mechanome stuff, but this neighborhood's got the goblins over there and you wanted some stuff from the goblin vendor. You can take your ledger and go buy stuff from the goblin vendor. So you're gonna be able to, you're gonna be able to bop around and find what it is you want. But it just gives you that different flavor text so that you can find what it is you're looking for your home. And that's coming January 19th.
Yeah, there's also some group activities as well that you can get bonuses for that, and repeatable options for the Endeavors where they're repeatable, but there's diminishing returns on that. But they don't say what the diminishing return is.
Right. We'll see, and again, it's coming in pre-patch, but I also think it's going to be a very bare bones skeleton version. I think it's going to.
Yes, I agree.
I think that we won't see the flushed out version of Endeavors until we actually get into Midnight. I just think is something, and for that matter, just so you're aware too, the pre-patch event oddly doesn't start the first week, the week of January 20th.
No.
It starts on the following week. So
Yes.
they want you to get involved with, I guess you're going to need a week to figure out your add-ons and adjust your stuff and play with your classes and all this and deal with your stat squish to get comfortable with your class again. And then you can go do the pre-patch in-game content, which, you know, I know we had talked about. I hope they had segmented things out for us to do, but what I think they should have done is not the way they're doing it. I think they should have started the pre-patch event on January 20th, but they added more stuff to the event. So, like, they were saying, like, there's going to be world bosses out there or elites out there to kill. So let the first week just be the elites to go out there and kill. And then they were going to add world quests and all this other stuff and some dailies or something. They could roll those in each week. So that way you are getting something new to do. Because right now, other than endeavors, we don't, and maybe the training grounds, if you're going to go mess with that with PvP, it doesn't look like there's going to be much to do for the first week.
No,
So,
it's gonna be adjusting to everything.
Yeah.
I think with your class. So
yeah. There are going to be a couple of mounts being introduced into that as well. And they're going to be purchasable from the vendor. I don't know if that any of them. I noticed two. There's one that's like a razor claw or whatever. There's a big bug looking flying mount. Razor claw, whatever it's called, Sky Razor, and then there's a new mech mount, and it's a recolor. If you got the KSM mount from season 1 of War Within or the chariot mount from Delve season 2, it's that mount recolored. But they are cool mounts, so you have a couple of mounts to look forward to, and they're going to be giving you some catch-up gear out there. There's going to be some unique MOG for all you ATT collectors out there. There's going to be some unique MOG added to that as well, so make sure you jump out there on your tunes and get them.
can't wait.
I believe that all the MOG you purchase as well will be account bound, warbound.
Yeah.
So,
warbound.
So, as an example, you're trying to flush out a new character. You can still be on your main that's got plenty of eye level and go do all the events, and then just shoot that gear over to your alt, which is a nice quality of life.
Huge quality of life.
But that's with the updated stuff with that. The elven housing, blood elf housing, going back to what we were talking about, blood elf housing and night elf housing will be available on January 19th as well. That is for your exterior. So you will have new customization exterior options for your home. So they are really, really leaning into player-based housing. I know it's the whole MO for Midnight, so it's fine. I get it. But they're rolling that out early, so you're going to be able to get those types of customizations. And at some point, I believe in Midnight. At some point, we're going to see new zones. So you'll have a Night Elf zone, possibly a Blood Elf zone.
Yeah, but there's a patch out there. There's some things there that are coming. So
let's swing it just a little bit, and let's talk about $60 TBC boost. Includes Blood Elves and Draenei.
It does, and I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah.
They're
rolling at 58, right? Level 58?
Level 58. I got to level 60 today. So Blizzard definitely hooked me up, and I was able to give some away, and they gave me one for personal use. I boosted. I'm not leveling that. I probably would not have played TBC if I had not have got that. I knew it was possible that it was coming. I got it. It was great. Lots of Blood Elves and Draenei, man. People in the game are just upset about that. They are just angry about how, and there's a ton of boosted tunes. They are everywhere because you get a mount with it, right?
Yep.
And so the mounts are everywhere. They're all over town. Like, it was probably the single greatest thing Blizzard did. They've made a lot of money off this boost thing, man. I'm telling you.
Yep. You ready for the next part? 3 months. This is going to be a dead game.
Oh, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Everybody knows how to go get their attunements, go clear the bosses. They'll clear the bosses until they open the next layer of dungeons or raids. People will come back and do that. Then it'll die off again, and it'll it's a money grab. It's all it is.
It is, and it's a good one.
Yeah, well, for them for sure. But
absolutely.
I just wish that they would get to a point to where they're thinking longevity and not instant money grab. I
think that it's funny that you say that, because something happened today. I had some communication with Blizzard today, and I can't really talk about it, but I can say that money was the topic. And I really felt it, and I could talk to you probably privately about that, but I really think that like, it just, like, I get it, but it's like, come on, man. Like, you're a little out of touch here. But
I'm a little out of touch here?
No.
Oh, okay. Blizzard is, okay.
I did see people forming groups in Classic not wanting boosted tunes. Oh, you need to learn your class. And I'm like, it's Classic, bro. You got like 5 buttons.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Trust me.
Yeah, it's weird.
So it's there. You could buy that boost for $60. Level 58. They give you level 58 gear, and if you were smart like me and just didn't touch your character, I had 2 full levels of rested experience.
Jesus.
At the classic level. So it probably took me, and I messed around and did some other stuff. It took me, I would say, about 6-7 hours to get those last 2 levels. That's a lot, man.
Yeah, it is. But the problem that I have with it is, again, if you're going to play the game in the classic style, there should never be a boost in there in the first place, because you're supposed to be enjoying the classic experience, which is the leveling process. It isn't a jump to end game. That's what retail is. That's the MO of retail, and they're trying to blur those lines. And you're going to see some strong kickbacks about this. I mean, you already are. You're seeing uproar all over the forums, threads, and everything else about it. People just need to realize either you're going to play classic or you're going to play retail, and enjoy them for what they are. And if you want the fast-paced experience and get to endgame, you play retail. And if you want the slow leveling process to where you're actually exploring the entire planet of Azeroth and now the Outlands, I mean, play classic as classic. There should not be a boost. That's just my opinion on it, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be playing if I didn't get it. So
well, I mean, I know that they know that, but that's also because that's also because it's the 3rd version of Burning Crusade. I mean,
it is.
It's the 3rd version. Like, that's because people they're doing the same thing over and over again, and it's getting old, and people are aware of that.
It's going to bring us into our last topic. That sentence right there.
Yep.
Because I have some information.
Oh, well, let's just go ahead and dive right in, because there's not a whole lot more I can talk about. Wrath of the Lich King coming to Anniversary. Go.
So that's a no. When they first released Classic Anniversary, they said we will go to TBC. We will not be doing Wrath of the Lich King. And when they put out the roadmap, they had TBC on there. There will be no Wrath. And this is what I'm thinking. There's going to be no Wrath because they're going to announce Classic Plus at BlizzCon, and TBC should take us through the rest of the year, right? For Classic, which lets them, and then they could do Classic Plus starting in January or February, maybe even March. So the scene is set. We're not going to see Classic Anniversary Wrath. I don't. We're not going to see it.
No, that's crazy. I mean, it's not. It's not. I mean, it does exactly what you're talking about. It points all indicators to the what's it called? The thing over in China, Classic Anniversary.
Titanforge servers.
Titanforge servers.
People are loving that. All they need to do, take the Titanforge server, bring it over here. Yep. All the classic Andes will be happy, and you can do whatever you want with that classic server, right? Because now you're not bound to re-releasing content. Now you just got a team that puts a new, maybe one zone, maybe no zones, but you put a dungeon over here, a raid over here, and and some gear. You sprinkle in some stuff, and the classic Andes will be happy to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
yeah. Again, it's all indicators pointing to that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they put that raid in, and people loved it. Scarlet Crusade raid, they effing loved it. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
And they'll be happy, and then you'll have 2 versions of the game instead of ungodly amounts of versions of the game that I don't have time for. Yeah.
Well, again, like even you know, you're catering to classic Andes, but the thing about it is, classic Andes have gotten old. They're not kids anymore.
Yeah.
They have jobs, they have lives, they have families, wives. They don't have enough time. Like let's say you're somebody that works a full-time job, or you own your own business, which takes even more of your time.
Yes, it does.
And you've been playing retail all these years. Then you spend your time in retail. You're still playing retail, so you invest all your time. You're doing your Mythic Plus, you're raiding. You're still trying to do stuff out there in the world, whether it's collecting or whatever the case is. Now you got housing thrown in your face to work on if you choose to do it, because it is optional. It's not something that you have to do in the end game of the game. But you know, now you got a little bit of time invested in that. But then a little part of you is like, I'd really love that little dopamine hit of going back to classic. When are you going to have time as a full-grown person? Because that's what classic Andes are people who played it originally that want to go back and play it. Now, the new people that are playing classic because they just like the way it is, because that was the version of the game that was just all around better, more appeal, that's fine, but they're not the originals. You know, that's different. Talking about the real classic OG players that want to go back and experience that again. If they're still playing retail, they don't have that kind of time to do that, and it really puts a stretch on people. So it's like, you know, is that what the boost was designed for those people? Was, you know,
right?
You know, what if they were okay? You've done all this stuff. When do we get Titan? When do they get Titan Forge? When does the classic Andy get Wrath Anniversary? Because maybe they couldn't play Wrath Classic when it was classic. You know,
maybe
a couple years ago, and they were looking forward to doing it this time, and now they can't. You know, like the problem is Blizzard's so all over the board with what they want to do, and they won't just stick to one functional thing. And for classic Andes, I don't think there should even be a TBC classic. I think there should just be a vanilla classic, and they need to build new content for the classic game. New dungeons,
I agree with
new raids, new zones,
and keep the classic pacing.
Yeah, especially if like there was a version of Dragon Isles back then in the files. They could just make not the Dragon Isles we know in retail, but the Dragon Isles that was intended for classic back then. Make what their closest rendering of what that would be, and introduce that as a new zone.
They could do that. There's a lot of things they could do with the classic thing. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do. But at the end of the day, as of right now, there is no plans, and Blizzard has been very explicit about Wrath Anniversary. That's a no-go.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, it feels bad for the people that I was just describing that endure all those things, and then the little bit of time they have to play, where do they put their time into? You know, they have to. They don't have an infinite, finite amount of time to do all these things. They have to pick and choose. So, you know, they're going to get left behind, or only get to play it a couple hours a week because they've devoted more time to retail, because that's where all their stuff is that they've collected through all the years, and that's where everything they have. So, like, how do you make that more intriguing for someone to go back and play? For me, and I have more time than anybody as a content creator. If I wanted to, I can go back and play it. I don't want to. I've already done it. I don't want to go back and play TBC again. I would like to play new content on vanilla. That would be cool, which is why I keep bringing that up.
And that's what might get me to play Classic Plus.
Right.
If they're going to introduce new content.
Right. But, you know, the everyday man or woman or person, don't have the time to
that's a lot of time
to juggle everything. They just don't, and then have a life outside of the game.
Yeah, they build them in now. They have people that are raiding in retail. They're raiding in classic. They're raiding in the other classic, and say, I don't have time for all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it feels weird. So I wish they would stick to something and be consistent instead of these weird roadmaps, because I can promise you, if let's say they announce Titan Forge or whatever they're calling it, right, in 2026, and they bring it, and everybody's happy with it for about a year or so. Guarantee you there's going to be Titan Forge TBC just because they're running out of ideas.
I don't want to see it, man. I think I don't want to see it.
You want a little gentleman's $5 bet?
And done.
Done? Okay. Okay. I think in the year 2020, by year 2028, we'll get some kind of announcement. If they do a Titan Forge, we'll get a TBC Titan Forge. Okay?
Oh, fuck, no. That's enough already.
I know. But, guys, I think that's it. I think that's where we wrap up. We went through a lot of stuff today, and again, I will be re-uploading this into some more higher resolutions for you to enjoy, but I think that's where we call it. So I want to say thank you guys. If you didn't do it already, drop a like on the video. If you haven't subscribed, we'd love for you to subscribe, and look for the new video to come out this Sunday, so that way you can drop a comment on it for us. Let us know how you're liking the content. So anyways, I think
also don't forget, Zugs, don't forget one more thing. Don't forget to catch our live streams on Twitch. Zugsy and Scions.
Yeah.
We're live a lot.
Yeah.
So if you have questions, you want to discuss something was in the podcast, we're happy to talk about it.
Absolutely, yeah. Twitch.tv Scions, Twitch.tv Zugsy. Come hang out with us. Come be a part of it, and we will. We get into these topics a lot deeper in our lives during the week, and then these podcasts are just a quick summary, but yeah, come check us out. Come drop a follow so that way you can get notified when we go live next. But guys, thanks.
You guys have a good day.
Yeah,
thanks for being here.
We'll see you next time. Take care.